Today, we will be going over a free hyperpop vocal chain. Yes, I know, the last one I did cost quite a bit of money, and I think we can do it for free because I want people who have less money to make more music. I think there are too many people with too much money making terrible music. We need the poor to rise. I have a raw vocal here just to show you that I'm not a good singer. As far as vocals go, you don't have to be a good singer either. You say this is a nightmare. I cry, I know it's not fair. You can make fun of me in the comments. The first thing you need is gonna be an auto-tune. This is probably the best free auto-tune I've come across. This Auburn Sounds Graillon 3. When you use this plugin, you're gonna wanna use this G2 pitch engine. G3 does not sound very good. You are gonna have to know what key you're singing in. I'm sorry, I know. It's a lot of work, a lot of theory you might not want to do, but figure it out. And one way you can figure it out, in Ableton at least, is have this tuner and kind of sing your vocals. So it kind of tells you what note you're singing. So use that and then go to this website. This is a scale finder. I like to go to the piano one. And you're like, okay, I was singing a B, a C, and a D flat. Find scale. And it'll show you, oh, wow, look at this. I'm seeing a blues scale. That sucks because I don't know anything about blues scales. So then maybe you say, okay, well, what if I took out this note and sang this note instead? Oh, there we go. We have normal scales. No, we don't. No, this is, oh my goodness. Harmonic minor. You know, I love harmonic minor scales, but you might not love getting into some interesting theory. So guess what? You're going to sing these notes instead. And you're going to say, oh my gosh, D major. I know what D major scale is. Somewhere. B natural minor. There it is. You're going to use this simplified notes notation. It gives you all the notes in it, and you're going to be like, wow, this is so useful and so helpful. I never need to worry about music theory ever again because it's true. And it shows you all the other scales. So if you want to make a song in A flat pentatonic blues, well, now you can because you know what the notes are. You find what scale you're singing in, and then you put in the notes yourself. Isn't that so nice that they show you what notes are in the scale? Because now you can just, oh, I want this one. I don't want this one. I want those. I'm in A major, and I have picked those notes out. So this is what it sounds like now. You say this is a nightmare. So auto-tune's working. We're seeing the correct notes. Now, as far as with this auto-tune, I've got some settings here. Low cut at 50. We're going to low cut later, so it doesn't super matter. I have snap max at 1, snap min at 0. Inertia at 80. This is like kind of how long the auto-tune will stay on a note based on like how much you vary from that note. And then the smooth is basically your retune speed. Less smooth you are, the faster your notes will switch. Whereas if you turn the smooth up, you'll get those intended pitch glides that you might have done, but it'll be a little more out-tuned. So if you're doing hyperpop, most people do like a hard or like pretty low, like 2 to 5. So I've got it at 3. And another cool thing about Graillon 3 is that it's got this formants knob here. So you just turn this on and then you can adjust this knob. You say this is a nightmare. I cry, I know it's not fair. But yeah, that's the first piece of the puzzle, auto-tune. Next step is gonna be your formant shifter, which again, Auburn Sounds has. I would say just use this as your formant shifter. There are other free formant shifters, which I have a video about. We'll link it in the comments because there are a bunch of free ones and you might like how different ones sound. But yes, Auburn Sounds has it, and we're gonna use that one for this example. Now, the next thing you're gonna do is a high frequency boost. Fresh Air is fine. It's free. It does the job. This is about like how I said it. You know, use your ears. Don't over brighten. So this is how this sounds. You say this is a nightmare. It brightens it, not too much. I might go even a little higher. Another thing you can do is just boost at this 10K here. If you don't want to get fresh air, which you should, if you're doing this for free, but if you don't want to get fresh air, just use an EQ and boost here. I like the sound of fresh air because it has more range of boosting, but this is kind of the same thing. For this example, we'll just have fresh air down. The next step in this chain is going to be a compressor. For Ableton, Ableton has a fantastic compressor called the glue compressor, and it is the best. Now, I'm sure your DAW has a wonderful stock compressor. These are the settings here. I got it compressing quite a good amount here. You say this is a nightmare. Threshold about 16, negative 16 with a lot of makeup gain. So when I'm compressing this for the first time, I try not to compress too much. This is kind of just about taking off those highest peaks. Now this clip button, I usually keep it off because I find when you soft clip in glue compressor specifically, it adds more distortion to your vocals and it's usually unwanted distortion. So I'll leave this off. And yeah, copy the settings here if you'd like. Up next is going to be our first low cut. Now you won't hear this if you look at our EQ here. You say this is a night. You see those low frequencies that we don't really enjoy? The problem with this is that when you have a lot of vocals on a track and they start to pile up, those low frequencies sort of stack on top of each other. They will affect your sub frequencies, and that's bad. Now, where do you low cut? You're going to low cut at the lowest frequency that you sang. So for this vocal specifically, where do I have? So F sharp is the lowest note I sing here. So I'm just going to cut it to that F sharp right there. Now, if you don't have a visual EQ, get this plugin here. This is Voxengo Span. It is free. It is the best. So up next, we have OTT, multi-band compression. Do not be scared of multi-band compression. It is the exact same thing as regular compression. All you're doing is instead of squishing the volume, you're squishing the volume of different frequencies. With Ableton's OTT, you can adjust where you want the splitting of frequencies to happen. The low frequency band, you probably don't need. If you have a lower voice and your low cut's down here, then you should have it. For me, I'll turn it off. And this is how this sounds. You say this is a nightmare. You say this is a nightmare. The way I use this is to brighten vocals. I would say don't go too much on the amount. I usually keep it between 52 and like 75, because if you overcompress, you say this is a nightmare. It's very punchy, and you might like that. Maybe you like that, and that's okay. You should use it if you like it. I personally prefer a more natural sound, more natural but slightly more aggressive because it's the hyperpop genre. Doing this, you say this is a nightmare. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's you hear it in all types of songs. Up next is going to be the de-esser, and what I have here is T de-esser 2. This one is free, and it is much better than Ableton's stock de-esser. Ableton tries to use the stock compressor. It just doesn't sound good. So get this one. These are my settings. This is before and after. You say. Play with the plugins, get it dialed to your own voice. We all sing different S's. I find mine is usually between 4.3 and like 4.8 thousand hertz. That's why I tune my de-essers to. But with T-de-esser, it doesn't have specific frequency range. It has kind of generalized one, so I just do the high one and it sounds fine. Also, when you pitch up your vocals with a formant shifter, the S in those vocals is going to be higher frequency than it would be without the formant shifter. So if you're using a formant shifter, just make sure that whatever de-esser you're using is accommodating that. Up next is an optional one. This is a saturator, and sometimes this can be useful in high energy moments of a song, and most DAWs have a stock saturator. So here's how this one sounds. You say. You can see I have the drive pretty high and the output low, 50%. And adjust this based on how you want the energy of your vocal to feel. If it's a high energy part of the song, you might crank this. You say this is a nightmare. Like, that can sound very good in context. If it's over some like soft part of the song, it might not sound as good. Some people love to juxtapose high energy vocals with low energy instrumentals and vice versa. So maybe you do this experimentally over like a super chill guitar, and it might sound good. Maybe you like it. Again, this is an optional one, but that's how you add more energy to your vocals. And after you do that, you're going to want to do another EQ, because usually distortion saturation plugins will affect your low end. You say this is a nightmare. Usually adds new frequencies that weren't there before, so you're going to do a low cut after that. And then up next, you're going to do another compressor. This one's going to be a bit more punchy. As you can see, my attack and my release are a bit lower. Again, this is all by ear, but this is about the amount of compression I think sounds good. Like punchy, but not too punchy. Up next, we have a delay. So all this is really doing is making it sound like you're in a room. So let me turn this up 100%. You say this is a nightmare. You say this is a nightmare. You say this is a nightmare. So with this delay, it's going to be short delay, not super high on the feedback, not super high on your mix. All it's doing is making it sound like you're in a room. It widens your vocals. It gives that effect that there's more people singing than actually are. And then after this one, I will put a normal delay. And this one, again, optional. Depends on what you're going for. You say. I usually have a filter on mine. Depends on what kind of vocals. Again, like for a lead vocal, you might use it. But if you have a big grouping of vocals, maybe you don't want a delay like that. Turn that one on and off and see how you like it. And then finally, I have a reverb group here. It's not scary. It's the same thing as like a reverb bus or a reverb send. All you're doing with this reverb group is putting the vocal through twice. Once through nothing, and then the second time through a 100% mix reverb. And this way, the reverb's not affecting the actual vocal. So you can mix the reverb in how you like it. So that's that reverb send by itself.
You say,
And then that's just the normal vocal. So when you put them together,
you say,
you get a nice balance of the two. And with this reverb send, you can turn it up, you can turn up the decay. I kind of like the settings of where it's at because it's a bit more subtle, but still present. A big mistake I see with a lot of people is they do too much reverb because they think it sounds cool, and it does sound cool. So this is too much reverb.
you say.
And it's fine maybe for certain instances. Maybe you want that effect in certain parts of your song. But if you do it too much and you do it in too many different areas, the vocal doesn't come through. You don't know what the person's saying. It starts to muddy up your mix a little bit. So just be careful. Again, that's why I have it like around 1.84. I found that's a good decay time on average. And I think that's it. So let's hear the vocal with everything on it.
You say this is a nightmare. I cry, I know it's not fair.
There you go. And I'll turn off the effects now so you can be reminded of how terrible the original was.
You say this is a nightmare.
Yes, very good improvement. Last thing we can do here is this formant shifting.
You say this is a nightmare.
In Ableton, you can adjust the formants in the DAW itself. So all you do is take your audio tracks and then you warp them to Complex Pro, turn it up by 12, and then mess around with this formants bar here.
You say this is a nightmare. I cry, I know it's not fair.
I think that one sounds really good. And your DAW probably has a built-in auto-tune that can do formant shifting on its own. When we formant shift vocals, you can see that our lowest sung note is usually a bit higher now. So this will affect where we put low cuts. This will affect where we DS. Again, this de-esser isn't specifically targeting frequencies, so it should be fine. And I believe that's it. I think that's everything. Yeah, again, all free, minus the DAW. You're probably running a cracked version of FL Studio, so you can do this. I know you can.